pray that we look to you each and every day and share the love that you've shown to us. I pray that we open our hearts and minds to what is being spoken to us today. In your holy name we pray.
get started. Father, Son, and Spirit, thank you so much for today, for this chapel, and for everyone making it back from Christmas break safe and sound. By the way, thanks for Christmas break. If it's all the same to you, we would love some snow. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. Okay, well, welcome back from Christmas break. This is chapel. Y'all know how we always begin. We're going to start with, see if we can remember all the fruit of the Spirit. How many fruit of the Spirit are there? Trick question, how many fruit of the Spirit are there? There's one. There's 9 different ways of looking at it. We've said them at the beginning of chapel every time so far this year. Can you guys know the backwards and forwards by now? Yeah, okay. What about, let's try it backwards. Think we can do that? We're going to try it. All right. The last one is self-control. Gratefulness? Is that right? It's a good thing, Cooper. You should totally be grateful. All right, just kidding. Let's start from the beginning. Love right here. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, and gratefulness. Excellent. Proud of you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, we got a couple of things to do today. Here's the plan. Plan number 1, or item number 1 of the plan. I guess there's only really one plan. We're going to talk about times when we have to put our foot in our mouth. Or times when, you ever have those times when you think something's going to go really smooth and it goes really rough? We're going to talk about that a little bit. Y'all should know which of the fruit of the Spirit, or which of the ways of looking at the fruit of the Spirit we're going to be talking about today. Today we're going to be looking at goodness. We'll talk about what that word means, who God is, and how Jesus showed us some goodness. And then we'll end with a little bit of application. You guys in? Okay. That was so half-hearted. Thank you. I feel so encouraged right now. So, moments when you think stuff's going to go smooth, and it doesn't go smooth, it goes rough. Am I the only one who's ever had an experience like that? Raise your hand if that's you. Raise your hand if that is how today is going for you. Awesome. I'm sorry, Nathan. It's going to get better. It always does. Okay, so that happened to me one time. I had this, let me just tell you the story. So, my church, Fellowship Baptist Church, we went on this mission trip to Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania is full of heathens, as we all know. And we were going to go stomp out some heathenism in Pennsylvania. Well, this girl named Sarah was also going on the mission trip. And I had the hots for Sarah, and I wanted her to be my girlfriend. Was I 12 or 13? 12 or 13, something like that. Pretty sure I was 13. We'll go with that. So I'm 13 years old, going on this mission trip to Pennsylvania, and I want this girl Sarah to be my girlfriend. And we're sleeping in the girls were sleeping in the Sunday school classrooms of this church, and the guys were sleeping in the floor of the gym, and I was right next to Brother Mike, and it sounded like some sort of lumberjack competition on a freight train every night. Like I'm like maybe this far away from Brother Mike, and he's just for like 6 hours every night. So I've had no sleep. I'm freaking out about asking this girl out. So I can't really eat anything. And this goes on for a week of not really very much sleep, not really very much of anything to eat. We do lots of hard work. We do the mission trip and everything. And I have finally asked this girl out. She said yes. She told her mom was on the mission trip too. This is just the whole thing is just a really sad story. She tells her mom, like, hey, so Justin Cole asked me out yesterday, and the mom says, did you let him down easy? No joke, that's exactly what she said. Sarah's like, well, it didn't go well. It didn't go well. But anyway, she did say yes for a while. So I'm thinking that everything is going smooth, no sleep, no food. I've been stressed for a week. You know the feeling? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about? So we're on the way home from this mission trip, and we stop at a Subway. I'm standing in line. Mr. Lee McMurray is standing behind me. And Subway dude says, what kind of a sandwich do you want? And I said, sweet onion chicken teriyaki. He says, all right, do you want that toasted? And I said, of course I'm going to toast it. I look like some sort of idiot. And he toasts it, and I moved down the line, and he's like, what do you want on your sandwich? And I said, I want spinach, I want jalapenos, I want bell peppers, and I passed out immediately. Like, just out cold. Hello? Oh, I thought my microphone passed out there for a second. I'm like I didn't even know that this was coming. I'm like mid-sentence, I'm making eye contact with this guy, telling him about what I want on my sandwich, and just like, passed smooth out, bounced off Lee McMurray, hit the floor of the Subway, and I'm just laid out on the floor. The next thing I know, I'm sitting at a table, and I've got a cookie in front of me. Which is not the worst way to wake up from passing out, but it was kind of an embarrassing experience, just out cold in the middle of the Subway for no apparent reason, because I was so stressed about asking out this girl whose mom just didn't even ask whether or not I said yes, just assumed that I got rejected hard. Which I did later, so don't worry, it happened. Let me tell you a story in the Bible about a woman who had a similar experience. She thought she was being all smooth. It didn't exactly go that way. I'm in Matthew chapter 20, verses 20 through 28. Does anybody have their Bible? Do people bring their Bible to chapel at all? I brought mine, but I had to because I was speaking. Teachers get some brownie points. Anybody else? You should do it. I recommend it. Bring your Bible to chapel. You should do it next week. All right. Matthew chapter 20, verses 20 through 28. This is about the mother. You know who the sons of Zebedee are? Coolest band name ever, I think. James and John are the sons of Zebedee because their dad's name was Zebedee. That's why the people call him that. Okay, so the mother of the sons of Zebedee, that's James and John, came up to him, that would be Jesus, with her sons, that would be James and John. Everybody tracking with me so far? James and John's mom came up to Jesus with James and John, and kneeling before him, she asked him for something. And he said to her, what do you want? She said to him, say that these two sons of mine are to sit one at your right hand and one at your left in the kingdom. We'll stop there for a second. So what she's asking is, one of them will sit at your right hand, one of them at your left hand when you come into your kingdom. Basically, Jesus, will you go ahead and confirm now what I already know in my heart, that my two sons are the greatest of humanity ever? And Jesus says, well, I don't think you really know exactly what you're asking for here. Will you confirm that my two sons are the greatest people ever? Jesus answered, you do not know what you're asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I am to drink? They said to him, we are able. When Jesus says something like that to you, it's a trick. Like, are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink? They're like, oh yeah, we got this. What's the cup that Jesus is about to drink? Anybody know? A tortuous and miserable death? Something like that? They're like, oh yeah, dude, we got that, Jesus. Ain't no thing. He said to them, you will drink my cup, which is true. James was the first one of the apostles to be murdered. You will drink my cup, but to sit at my right hand and my left is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father. And when the 10 heard it, they were indignant at the two brothers. That kind of happens when your mom starts bragging on you. You ever been in that situation? Your mom is bragging on you, talking about how awesome you are, and your buddies are there, and they're like, she obviously doesn't know her child at all, because he is a turd. Does that ever happen to you guys? That's what's going on here. The mom is bragging on her sons, and his buddies, all their buddies are all like, there's no possible way that they're going to get to be the ones that sit at Jesus' right and left hand, but whatever. I love the way the Bible says it. The 10 were indignant. All of his friends did not appreciate it. But Jesus called to them and said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. It shall not be so among you. But whoever among you would be great must be your servant. And whoever would be first among you must be your slave. Okay, we're going to stop there, and then we'll read that last verse, verse 28 here in just a minute. Oh, well, here it is. The Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. This is the greatest picture on the internet, if anybody's wondering. Thank you, Mr. Son. I love it. The Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. That's the be announced as the greatest right now. They're going to be sitting at Jesus' right and left hand. And Jesus tells her that she's looking at things exactly upside down. So what does all of this have to do with the fruit of the Spirit? That's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked. So what we're on this week is goodness. And what exactly does goodness mean? Well, that's what I asked myself. I said, what does goodness mean? What does the Bible mean when it says goodness? Well, it turns out that word goodness, the one that's used in the Bible, it's a specifically Christian word. It's not used anywhere except for in the Bible and in books that were written by early Christian authors. It's not anywhere in any other Greek book. So what does it mean? It means uprightness of heart and life and living for the good of others, not for yourself. Living for the good of others and not for yourself. I want to talk for just a second about why that's important. Okay, who is God? We're gonna paint a little word picture here. Not a word picture, a chair picture. I'm going to set this down for a second. Okay, we're going to pretend like this chair is God. It's not. But we're going to pretend like it is, okay? Everybody with me? What is God like? Who can tell me? Not a rhetorical question. What's God like? Huh?
Great.
He's great. Excellent chair. Great chair. He's okay. What is this? The chair. God is not this chair. We understand that, right? Okay. What is God like? I'm not asking you to describe the chair. I'm asking you to describe God. But this chair is four-legged. You're a genius. Who said that? Brady. What's God like? He's great.
Just.
He's just. Good. Powerful. Merciful. Awesome. Okay. So all of those things, he's good, he's great, he's merciful, he's powerful. I may have forgotten some. Those describe this chair. Okay. I want to talk about what exactly is it that makes Christianity different from every other religion in the world. Because don't you think every other religion in the world would describe their God using the words that we've just said here? He's good, he's great, he's powerful, he's merciful, right? That's every religion in the world. That's how they describe their God. So what makes Christianity different? What makes Christianity Christianity? I think it's this. This is what makes Christianity Christianity. Every other religion in the world pictures God that way. God is up there somewhere. He's alone. He's always been alone, and he created because he was lonely or bored or something like that. This is the Christian conception of God. There has always been the Father, and he's always been in face-to-face relationship with his Son. There has always been the Son. The Son has always been in face-to-face relationship with the Father, and their relationship takes place in the Holy Spirit, whose fruit we've been talking about so far this year. Right? Everybody with me so far? This is who God is according to Christianity. That is who God is according to every other religion in the world. That's the difference. That's what makes Christianity Christianity. You dig? You're supposed to say, I dig. I dig. All right. Appreciate you. So, why does that matter? Why does the doctrine of the Trinity, that's what it's called, Trinity, why does the doctrine of the Trinity matter at all? Like, God is Father, Son, and Spirit. We could say that, like, he's three in one. Yeah, we got that. I learned how to sing that song when I was a kid. Why does it matter? Well, it matters because goodness is what goodness is. If goodness in the Bible means living for the good of others and not for yourself, this God can't do that. Why would this God create? There's no reason for this God to create other than to serve himself, which is the opposite of goodness. That's not what goodness is. Why did this God create? If this is who God is, why did he create? The Father here has never been concerned about himself. He's always been concerned about the Son and the Spirit. He's always been other-centered. That's just who he is. The Spirit has always been concerned about the Father and the Son and their relationship. The Son has always been concerned about the Father and the Spirit. No person of the Trinity is self-centered. There is no selfishness. Selfishness is not even possible in this relationship. So that's what goodness is, and that's what goodness means for us, is that, and another way of saying goodness is being like God. Because God has always been other-centered. That's what Jesus manifests when he came to earth, is other-centered love, goodness. The Son of Man came not to be served, like this God would create out of boredom or loneliness, to cure his boredom or to cure his loneliness or for some other reason. This God created not for himself, but for others. Because the perfect love relationship between the Father, Son, and Spirit is so good, it's worth sharing. That's why you were made. We've been saying all along this year that the only reason you exist is because the Father, Son, and Spirit have always wanted a son or daughter just like you. They've always wanted someone to share this perfect love relationship with. And one of those someones is you. Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. That's what goodness means. That's who God is. That's what his nature is like. So how do we do that? How can we live not to be served, but to serve? Well, I think there are a couple of easy, I was just thinking about this yesterday. There are a couple of easy ways that we can do that. One, if you happen to be going on the Dominican mission trip, that sounds a lot like goodness to me, right? Living for the good of others and not for ourselves. That's why, raise your hand if you're going on that mission trip. Who's going to the Dominican? Awesome. That's what goodness is. That is other-centered love. Thank you. Yeah, let's give a round of applause for the going on this mission trip. I don't think, however, that other-centered love, this biblical concept of goodness, it doesn't have to be super spiritual and a big, long, expensive trip to the Dominican. It could be, let's think about ways that we can serve others instead of ourselves. When you go to break, middle schoolers, you're fixing to go to break. When you get done with break and you stand up and you get ready to leave and you see the trash that is like everywhere in the cafeteria, y'all know what I'm talking about? What happens to that trash? You know where it goes? It doesn't magically soak into the floor and disappear. Somebody has to clean that up. That could be you. If everybody would just stop and pick up a piece of trash and throw it away, even if it's not yours, that's goodness. That's other-centered love. That's living for the good of others and not for yourself. I think that would make everybody's life a little bit easier. Let's think together this week about ways that we can give of ourselves, live in other-centered love, and be good to one another. You in? Awesome. Appreciate you. Let's pray. Father, Son, and Spirit, thank you for creating us and for creating us in your love, to share in your love. I pray that you would help us to spread the love and your goodness around this school, around our community, and to one another. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. Would you stand and worship with us?